are with Sean from Kids Table Board Games. He's going to show us Lairs.
Yeah, so in Lairs, you were an adventurer attending the Adventurers Guild, and you are doing one of your final challenges, which is going to be building a dungeon for your opponent and running your opponent's dungeon. So if we look at the board here, we can see all prototype bits here, but everybody's going to start with the same set of walls, monsters, treasures, and traps, and you're going to build your own dungeon, and you're going to place different elements out in your dungeon, and your opponent's going to be tasked with running it, and you're going to be tasked with running theirs. We use a unique action system where you're going to be spending cubes, which have different abilities. Once you have spent them all, your round is over, and the next round they're all going to refresh. But if you run into a monster and it does damage to you, or if you fall into a trap, you might have your cubes fatigued, and so when they're coming back to you, it's going to take an extra turn for them to refresh for you. Everything that you discover about your opponent's dungeon, you're going to keep track of, and you're actually going to be following your own progress through the dungeon on a little sheet here, where you're going to record the walls, the where you find the exit, the different treasures that you can come across in there. The game itself plays in about 30 minutes, but you're going to want to play it again and again, because once you finish the most basic setup of the game, inside the box there are going to be new boxes which are going to contain different elements for the game. New monsters, new abilities, new powers. There's going to be about 5 to 10 of these extra boxes in there, and we plan for the Kickstarter to have even more content to add into it. So it is kind of like a first dungeon crawler game, like an accessible, kid-friendly dungeon crawler game, which really is up to the player, the levels of creativity they want to put into building their dungeon. And so we're really excited about this one. We've been showing it off all week, and it is coming to Kickstarter later in the fall. There's going to be so many good surprises in that campaign. So really looking forward to Lairs. All right, so another game that we're super excited about is Cafe Baras. This is the new game from Roberta Taylor, famous for Creature Comforts and Maple Valley.
Some of my favorites.
Oh, great games, great games. So in this one, you are designing the menu and decor of your very own coffee shop. You just happen to be a capybara. And so on your turn, you're going to do something with a card from your hand. Like you might decide, oh, I want to start selling a limonada. So you will add that to your cafe, and each different item that you add provides, a decor or a menu item for your cafe. And another thing that you can do with these cards is each one of them has a customer on the bottom, and this customer in particular wants tea and muffins and soup. And so for each one of those elements that you satisfy, you can discard that card and get bucks for that. And that money is going to be used to purchase more things for your coffee shop. Now, if you happen to satisfy a customer's need completely, let's say I satisfy all these needs for this customer and I have the right decor type, that customer can become a regular, which is points for me at the end of the game, but also it's going to drive us towards the game end, because as soon as a player has 3 regulars, we're going to each have one more turn and then score out the game. You'll get points for the different menu items you have in your cafe, for the regulars that you have, and then also we've got special guests. So each game, different special guests are going to show up, like the card players, the game designer, and the napper. And if you satisfy those requirements, you're going to get extra points for those as well. So a very simple game which makes real clever use, dual use of these cards, and we're super excited for this one. Unfortunately, we do not have this for sale here. You're going to have to wait for Gen Con for this one to be on sale, but we've already got such great feedback, and people are just drawn in by the beautiful cover. So yeah, we've been having a lot of fun showing it off. All right, so one more game I want to talk about. This is on our other brand, which is Burnt Island Games, and this is Endeavor Deep Sea. So this was on Kickstarter last year, coming to retail later this year, and it's going to be available to purchase at Gen Con. So Endeavor Deep Sea, very cool. It keeps much of the same mechanisms that you'd be familiar with if you'd ever played Endeavor Age of Sail, but it introduces a modular board. So you're going to be adding new tiles to the board, making the ocean wider and deeper as you play. And every game you play, you're going to play with a different mission. So there's a ton of different missions in the box, and one of the cool things about the missions is each one of them can be played competitively, cooperatively, or solo. So you can experience them a multitude of different ways, which is pretty cool. And yeah, like, I mean, this one, we've had lots of feedback from people who are fans of Endeavor. Endeavor has its fans, and most people who play this one say they like this even better than Age of Sail, and I have to agree with them. So really looking forward to showing off this one.